Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to deconstruct something we usually ignore, but man, does it speak volumes? We're talking about silence.
I mean, just think about a character like Thomas Shelby from Peaky Blinders, right? His power doesn't come from these big, long speeches. Nope, it's all about what he doesn't say. Every single word is deliberate, which makes each one land with incredible force.
So how can saying nothing actually be more powerful than saying everything? It's a wild thought, isn't it? Okay, let's really get into this and explore the two very different sides of silence. So first up, we need to stop thinking about silence as just nothing. It's not an absence of sound, it's a language all on its own. Okay, let's start with the first side of this coin. Silence as a weapon. How it can be actively used to get power, status, and yeah, even control. Okay, so the core idea here is something called the vacuum principle, and it's pretty simple actually. Our brains absolutely hate a void. We hate uncertainty. So when you stay quiet, you create this uncomfortable vacuum, and the other person just feels this overwhelming need to fill it. And when they do, they often spill information they never meant to.
And here are 3 super practical ways you can actually use this. First, the audit pause. Someone asks you a tough question, just wait. 3 full seconds. It shows you're not desperate for their approval. Then there's the negotiation stare. They give you a bad offer? Don't say a word, just hold their gaze. It'll make them nervous. And finally, the exit silence. When you make your point, just stop. No trailing off, it screams confidence.
And this brings us right back to Thomas Shelby. It's brilliant, really. In the scripts, his big power move is often described as just inaction. He stays perfectly still, totally silent. It forces everyone else to show their cards, to reveal their fears, and boom, he's got all the control.
Now you might be thinking, isn't that just being fake? Well, not necessarily. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche had a great line about this. He said, "Every profound spirit needs a mask." The idea is that this silent, controlled exterior isn't about being phony. It's a strategic tool, a necessary mask you wear to survive and navigate the world.
But, and this is a huge but, there is a completely opposite side to all of this. A side where silence isn't a weapon you choose to wield, it's a prison you're trapped inside. So what happens when you're not choosing to be silent? Let's dig into this other side of the story, the silence that's born not from strength, but from some really profound pain.
You know, trauma survivor Ann Beeler put it so powerfully. She said that being silent about something painful does far more damage than the experience that silenced you in the first place. When you use silence to hide secrets, to hide abuse or loss, you're building these walls inside yourself. And the longer you stay quiet, the higher and stronger those walls of anxiety and loneliness get. And that trapped feeling, it doesn't just stay put. It has to go somewhere. It starts to leak out in these destructive ways. You might see it as pouting, or constantly creating drama, or even lying. It's like a cry for help from a part of you that's been forced into silence for way too long. And you know, this isn't just a personal thing. It's societal. For centuries, silencing people has been a weapon of the powerful. Think about that old horrible saying, "Children should be seen and not heard." It's a perfect example of how forcing silence on certain groups creates this kind of dangerous social deafness. Okay, so we've got these 2 totally different kinds of silence. One is a weapon, the other is a prison. So the big question is, how do we tell them apart? How can we learn to decode what's really going on?
This chart here gives us a really useful framework. It all boils down to 2 things, goal and context. Is the person trying to gain control, or are they just trying to protect themselves and survive? Strategic silence, the weapon, is usually calm, still, deliberate. But traumatic silence, the prison, it feels tense, uncomfortable. You'll see averted eyes. The context tells you everything.
And this is where that whole mask idea from Nietzsche comes back in a really important way. The key is to not just look at the silent mask itself, but to watch for the cracks. You know, those little moments of tension, a flicker in the eyes, a jaw that clenches for just a second. That's the real person leaking through. It's a reminder that most of the time people aren't being fake, they're just scared. All right, for this last part, let's turn the camera around. Let's think about our own silence and what it's telling the world. I've got a little challenge for you. Seriously, try this tomorrow. The next time someone interrupts you while you're talking, don't talk over them. Don't fight for the floor. Just stop completely. Look at them, let them finish, and then wait 2 full seconds, and then continue your point. It's a small thing, but you will be absolutely amazed at how it can instantly shift the power dynamic in a conversation.
So, we've spent this time learning how to listen to silence. But the final question is really about you. What is your silence telling the world? Is it a weapon of strength, a tool you use with intention? Or is it a prison, a story of pain that you just haven't found the words for yet?